Hello everybody, this is TipTop MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Magic's latest set, Double Masters. Double Masters is a new reprint set from Magic the Gathering. It's the first Master set since their hiatus after the release of Ultimate Masters. Master sets are almost always 100% reprints and are there to mostly reduce the price of singles and get newer versions of cards with new art and rules changes. This master set has a theme of doubling, having 2 rares or mythics, and 2 foils per pack. But I think the stronger theme here is artifacts. This was originally designed to be Artifact Masters, and it really shows. Normally when I review a set, I break down the set into a couple of different categories. Since this set has no new cards, is not going on MTG Arena, has no lore, has no central mechanics, and is not impacting metas, I only have a few categories to talk about, and they all kind of meld together. So without further ado, here's my review/rant for Double Masters. So before I can talk about anything too specific, I need to talk about the basics of Double Masters. Double Masters is the first master set we have seen in a while. When it was announced, people were ecstatic that much-needed reprints were finally going to be happening. Along with the reveal, they announced a couple of cards that were going to be in the set. These include things like Kalia and Mana Crypt. But that's not all. They also announced borderless showcase versions of the cards that were going to be both box toppers and found within a new type of boosters called VIP boosters. VIP boosters are supposed to be the Double Masters version of collector boosters, but this decision would be met with massive backlash. People were already upset about collector boosters, and honestly, I think everyone assumed VIP boosters were going to be worse. Soon after we learned about the price of both Double Masters and the VIP boosters, Double Masters would cost around $15 per pack, and VIP edition would be somewhere close to $100. At this point, it wasn't looking good for Double Masters. Yes, there were some awesome reprints, but this was going to be one of the most expensive master sets ever. But I think that's enough history. This leads me perfectly into my next point. Before even looking at any of the cards, I would like to say that I think Double Masters is too expensive. Even if they reprinted Black Lotus in the set, I think it'd be too expensive. Yes, it would be worth it to buy. However, it's still too expensive. Being too expensive and not being worth it are two different things. I understand that not every product is meant for every person, but in my opinion, spending $15 or especially $100 on random chance boosters is too high no matter what the contents are. You're preventing people from playing the thing they love just to earn some extra money. It doesn't cost more to reprint fetch lands than it would be to print a basic land. Now, I'm sure you've heard this all before, but I just want you to know that everything I'm going to say forward will be having both all of the spoilers and the price in mind. They could print amazing things, but the price is still ridiculous. Think about it. I could go into my store and buy 36 boosters of Core Set 2021, or one VIP booster that could be worth anywhere from $20 to $500. Now, because I know every YouTuber is going to talk about extreme price, I don't really want to be exactly like them. I don't want to just complain about the price. So why don't I talk about some things that I really like? I love reprint sets. Even a terrible reprint set can be amazing for the average player. Think about it. Oh, it's just one of those products that you can benefit with without ever opening. Let's say I wanted to buy a filter land before Double Masters. That filter land is going to be much cheaper now, and I didn't have to open a booster. I didn't even have to support the product. No matter how bad a product is, someone is going to open it. But I actually don't think Double Masters is a bad product. Yes, it has some bulk rares, but generally things like the VIP booster, while I do think they are too expensive from a basic standpoint and will just be bad for the game in general, yes, it's $15 now, but what about when it's $25? Masters started at a very low price, and it has only ever gone up. Well, I do think they are and I do think they're just too expensive from a basic standpoint, but they do have value. There is a difference between being too expensive and not being worth it. Looking at the reprints, they are awesome. Lots of value, lots of things that will be lowered in price so that everyone can play with them, and just lots of good cards for the community. On top of that, the limited environment looks really fun. It's not that often that you see a set with such a strong focus on one thing. Even Theros, which is all about enchantments, doesn't have as many artifacts as Double Masters. Doesn't have as many enchantments as Double Masters has artifacts. So Wizards of the Coast put in some amazing reprints in this product, and actually it looks like a pretty good draft. Now, let's say they release this product at about $8 per booster, or about $4 per rare. If that were to happen, I feel there would be very little complaint, and people would complain less about even VIP boosters. But this isn't a VIP booster. I already did one of those, but my thinking here is that, people are thinking VIP boosters are a premium product for a premium product. Whereas if you make the booster just a little bit more, or at the price I suggested, almost exactly the same as a standard booster, then, the VIP booster just seems like an extra, versus the way they do it now, everything seems like an extra, which means that VIP boosters are going to be more compared to normal boosters, if that makes any sense. Basically, there's nothing wrong with the set other than price. I don't think they filled the product with useless reprints, at least not that many, and I don't think the limited environment will be bad. I don't think the borderless cards look awful, and I actually like a lot of them. However, there is a price, and for everything that I've said that I liked about the product, the price takes that away. This could have been their chance to allow more players to dive into Eternal formats and maybe spend more money in the future. But, that would lose them some money in the short term. Okay, let's take a step back. I have been super negative, and I just want to talk a little bit more about Masters in general. I hope that the massive backlash about the price of this product will have some impact in the future. However, I'm very doubtful of that, as it's happened every time a Master set has come out. As I said above, yes, this product is overpriced, but also it will help everyone. Investors can make some money, and the average player can buy the singles they want for cheaper. Generally, I think the return of Masters is a really awesome thing. I just hope that in the future, $15 is not the base price for a Master set. I hope the reason for the price of this product was the 2 rares. In the future, maybe we see a Master set at $8 or even $10. Now, I know a lot of this video has been talking about price and overpriced and all of that, but that's what Masters are about. If this was a review of Zendikar Rising, I could talk about all the awesome new cards, all the implications of what that would mean for Standard, and what the mechanics are like. But when it comes to Masters, money is really the only thing people care about, and maybe some drafting, but even drafting can be ruined by the expensive packs, because now it's expensive to draft, and even if you can afford it, it's going to be much harder finding a bunch of other people who can as well. And so messing up in the money category for a Master set is awful. I would rather have an $8 booster that had an amazing draft experience. It should not be a difficult decision for me whether I should buy this product or not, because yes, there are awesome cards in it, but I just think it's too expensive. I should not be contemplating, hey, should I open some packs or should I go get singles? Wizards should be trying to make it as appealing as possible to buy the product, and they're not. So this is going to end our discussion. I don't have too much more to say, and I'm mostly a Standard and Historic YouTube channel. I play Commander and have dipped my toes into other formats as well, so maybe I don't have as much personal experience as others, but I think it's clear that something here needs to change. This is my first truly negative review of a set ever. You can mess up a set in many ways, but how you get that set, if you mess that up, then the rest really doesn't matter in my opinion. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Is this that overpriced? There's not much else to talk about, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just how Masters are. Writing this review has actually been quite difficult, as there are only a few ways to look at a product like this, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there are some aspects of the set that I didn't get it credit for, or didn't criticize enough. For instance, VIP boosters. I mentioned them, but kind of stayed away because I've done an entire video on that, and I'm pretty sure most other people are going to talk a lot about that. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.